Hello everyone, welcome to Mo's Kitchen. Today we're going to make garlic roast potatoes. This is one of my all-time favorite ways to eat a potato. It's either this or mashed. This is a very good recipe, and this is a recipe you cannot ever mess up. I'm going to explain a little bit more throughout the video and on the blog. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so I have about 2.5 pounds of potatoes here. Doesn't really matter, it can be 2.25. Now you want to cut it in half. Now if you'll notice that one piece is huge and this one's a lot smaller, it doesn't really matter because look, I can just cut them into equal sized portions from there on and just cut them smaller. If one piece is freakishly big and they're all pretty uniform, I can cut that piece in half. It doesn't matter, and it roasts really well. So that's kind of one way you can't mess up the recipe. If the size isn't as proportionate, don't worry. And I wouldn't really bother weighing the potatoes. I mean, sometimes it's 2.5 pounds, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2.25. My scale read about 2.23, so it doesn't really matter that much. So don't worry about the exact amount. Just grab your potatoes and then grab your spices, which I'm going to show in a bit. I also wouldn't worry about weighing my potatoes or getting a certain number of potatoes. Most recipes are like that, but this one, just grab as many that can fit in your pan, and that's all you really need to worry about. Sometimes it's 4 potatoes, sometimes it's 5. I had 2 freakishly big ones, so obviously I'm going to just need the 2. As you can see, some of these are too big, so I just cut them in half, and it makes them more uniformed. That's why you can't really mess this recipe up on the potato part. Next is the spices. And oh boy, did I use a lot of spices. Salt, black pepper, white pepper, pink pepper, cumin, coriander, cayenne, sage, rosemary. I used paprika, thyme. I used more than actually that's in this picture, but it doesn't matter. You can use any spice you want. The typical thing is just salt, pepper, paprika. Some people like to put curry in here as well. I'm not a fan of curry, but in this case, I will. Just use whatever spice you want. It can be grinded, and then you just want to mix it together. So here's a lot of the spices. Some of them were whole, so I had to grind them up. You could toast them in a pan and then grind them if you want. If you don't want to use whole spices and grind them, you can use powder. It doesn't matter. It'll taste fine either way. So just mix it well till you can't see anything. These are going to be some chili flakes. For some reason I like to add them near the end, but it doesn't really matter. Now, I usually use a lot of paprika over any other spice. Again though, you don't have to use all my spices. You can use different amounts. I don't ever measure. I just go by eye. The biggest spice I use is paprika, but I'll list some amounts just for this video. Next up, make sure your oven's at 400 degrees. You're going to get about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, or your desired amount. You're going to get olive oil and place it on here. And now is when I like to add in my pepper flakes. But again, I could add it to the mix. It doesn't really matter. So get your spice. Now I didn't use all of it. I used the majority, probably 3/4 of it. And go crazy. Just go nuts. Let it go everywhere. And don't worry. The chances are you will never, ever, ever, ever over-season this. Even though it looks like it, you probably won't. And if you under-season, hey, it'll still taste great anyways. That's why you can't really mess it up. Because it's very hard to over-season it. And even if you under-season, it still tastes great. I mean, right now, I'm still going to add more. And it looks like it's, fully seasoned. It looks like I'm over-seasoning it, but even then I'm not. You can always create your own spices. You can use any spice mixture you want. Everything is versatile. This is one of the easiest and best recipes you can do. Not to mention, it's one of the tastiest. Now, I know this is garlic roasted potatoes, but hey, there's no reason we can't bacon things up a bit. I cooked about 6 strips of turkey bacon. Then before that, I chopped them very small. Fried them for maybe just 10 minutes or so until they get very crispy. The bacon you use will vary on the cooking time, so just to get it crispy, and then you're ready to put it in the oven. So you're going to start it off for half an hour, and then you're going to take it out, and you're going to stir. This also cooks at a very different time too. I pulled it out half an hour later, just so I can stir it. That way things can cook more evenly. No, it's nowhere near done yet. Usually, I'd say the minimum time it should spend in your oven is 50 minutes, and sometimes all the way to an hour and a half. It depends. Every oven is different. Every recipe is different. Every potato is different. You won't know. After half an hour, take it out and stir it. Then every maybe 25 minutes, take it out, stir it again, and try one. If it tastes right, then you're done. If it doesn't, pop it in for 20 more minutes, and then try again. Mine took me about, I would say, an hour and 10 minutes total time. But again, after 55 minutes, you should try yours. See how mine barely stays on the fork? I poke it, it goes easily. I try to lift it, it breaks. That's definitely done. It's definitely tender. Let it rest for maybe 15 minutes before you serve it. All those spices, that garlic, that oil, that bacon, it combines. It makes the best flavor ever. You have to try this. You're going to be so happy you did. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Thanks for watching. Visit my website, mos-kitchen.blogspot.ca. I'll see you next time. And as always, enjoy.